Hello and welcome to this tutorial video which will take you through the Locations tab of the OneGMS project proposal form. This tab allows you to specify the geographical areas in which you will implement your project and allocate budget and targeted persons to each added location. It will be configured according to the data provided in 3 previous tabs. First, the data from the log frame tab, when you will have to add activities to each location. Then the data from the People Targeted tab for the categories and the total amount of women, girls, men and boys for each cluster. And finally, the data from the Budget tab, which provides the share of the budget allocated to each cluster and its equivalent in USD. Figures added in the Locations tab must be coherent with the information previously entered in these 3 tabs. Please ensure you have filled in and saved these tabs before completing the Locations tab. If either of these tabs appears in red, it means that the information has not been validated by the system. Before you add a location, each cluster's total table will be empty and no location will be added. This table will be filled in automatically by the system as you provide information for each location and cluster. You can hover over the info icon to display the total people targeted for the cluster. To complete this tab, you first need to add a location. Click on the arrow to display administrative levels. And then tick the box of the location you wish to select. You can now add a budget percentage, activity and people targeted breakdown to each cluster per location. Input in this field the budget percentage that will be spent in this location for this cluster. The total of the cluster budget percentage allocated to all locations must be 100%. The numerical value in USD will be automatically displayed by the system. Then select from the drop-down list one or several activities that will be implemented in the location. These activities reflect the ones added to the Log Frame tab. Finally, provide a breakdown of targeted people for each location's cluster. To do so, you can either fill in the table manually or automatically. To automatically display an estimated breakdown of people targeted, enter the percentage for this location and cluster and click on this icon. The amount of people targeted allocated to this cluster and location will be automatically displayed by the system, as well as the estimated breakdown by gender and age that is based on the information entered in the People Targeted tab and the percentage entered in this field. Although the table is filled in automatically by the system, you are still able to edit the figures. You can manually fill in the table. The total number of people targeted by category and by gender will be automatically calculated by the system. While you fill it in, you can click on a box to display the balance of the number of people targeted. Here, we still have 532 girls we can add to this or another location for this cluster. Once you have completed all the fields, you can save this location and add others by repeating the previous steps. Upon clicking on Save, the total table of each cluster and location will be automatically filled with the data you have provided. For each cluster, you can see the budget allocated to each location and the total budget per cluster. This tab also shows the people targeted percentage per location, that reflects the percentage entered if you distributed the people targeted automatically. If you entered the people targeted breakdown manually, the percentage will be 0%. And finally, you can see the people targeted breakdown by location and category. If you wish to edit or delete a location, click on this icon. 2 common mistakes can prevent you from validating the tab. The total of location budget percentage for each cluster is not equal to 100% and the breakdown by age and gender and category does not match the information provided in the People Targeted tab. The total budget of all locations for a cluster must equal the cluster's total budget. For instance, here the location's total budget is higher than the cluster's budget. You can rectify this mistake by increasing or decreasing the budget allocated to one or more locations. Once you have updated the budget percentage per location, you can save your data. The second issue appears if the people targeted distribution does not match with the numbers imputed in the people targeted tab. Indeed, the same amount of targeted people specified in the People Targeted tab must be distributed in the Locations tab. In our example, the data provided in the People Targeted tab shows 2,880 women in the category Host Communities for the cluster Food Security and Agriculture. If we go back to the Locations tab, we can notice that we have entered 3,114 women in the Host Communities category for the same cluster. You can rectify this mistake by increasing or decreasing the number of targeted people in one or more locations. The erroneous data will be highlighted in red. Once you have updated the people targeted breakdown, you can save your data. This is the end of our tutorial video on how to fill the Locations tab of the OneGMS. If you have any question or comment, don't hesitate to contact us.